When did you first move out here?
Well, I moved to the United States in about 2007. While the kids were still young, it was a standard suburban middle class life, but I always had it in mind to live not entirely off the grid, but as sustainably as possible. Really, this is one of the few places in the world where you can still do that.
So yeah, this is my dad. Pretty much everything on this property is something he built himself. It's located in Scotts Mills, Oregon. Population of only 400, this town is mostly home to people living sustainably like my dad. And the only way to actually get to his property is by driving down this super long, windy road, which is so sparsely populated this goat can just hang out on the road eating grass. I have a ton of great memories from growing up here, and it's really one of my favorite places in the world. Say your favorite piece of art out here is?
Well, my favorite piece of art is this strange thing here, which was I bought at an art market in Lake Oswego some years ago now, and the theme is a young man painting grey hairs onto the side of his temples, and I'm sure there is a profound message in there somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure that I know what it is, but I would say that is my favorite piece.
That's his favorite piece, but these are some good honorable mentions. What was the process of remodeling this gazebo into this house?
Well, this was the only standing structure, and originally I parked a big park model trailer here, and that was temporary, but it became rather permanent. And then, really on a whim, a couple of years ago, I stripped down all the cladding on my trailer and decided to build this little tiny home. I've built it entirely with my own hands, without any real practical skills. So there are many issues with it, but it's solid, it's sound, and it's extremely comfortable, and it's an excellent base upon which to try and build a sustainable life.
One short, unbelievable story about your time living in Africa.
Well, one story I have is of surviving a lion attack. It's during a camping expedition, and I was lying on a stretcher out in the middle of what we call the bush. You call it the woods here, we call it the bush. And a group of lions was circling around. We weren't aware of it at the time. There were 3 or 4 of us. And I was in a sleeping bag, and the lion took the end of the sleeping bag and dragged me off my stretcher, but it only had a grip on the webbing between my big toe and my little toe. Within a few hundred yards, not even a few hundred yards, a few yards, that skin tore. The lion then pulled the sleeping bag off my body and left me lying naked in the middle of the woods. And I got up and I ran away.
So yeah, there's a sneak peek into the part of my life most people don't know about. My dad is a great example that sustainable living does not always mean you have to have a bad quality of life. I think sustainable living is something we should all be looking for in the future.